Hello and welcome to One on One. I am Cyril Stover. The federal government has its eyes on growing the national economy beyond the dependence on oil and gas. It has therefore taken steps to diversify the economy. Now, the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy is a body meant to foster economic growth through arts and culture, supporting creative sectors like film, music, fashion, and integrating technology for job creation. Today, our focus is on harnessing the huge potential of Nigeria's massive entertainment industry. My guest is a major player in the creative industry with a background spanning over 35 years in the American entertainment industry. His experience in Hollywood includes specialization in screen directing, production management, screenplay writing, and many others, including project development and revenue multiplication. Let's welcome Yakub Saliu.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Right, thanks for coming on One on One.
Thank you very much.
Right, you have been in the entertainment industry for long, both outside the shores of this country and to some extent within. Nigeria, as we have said, has a massive entertainment industry. And as the government looks to diversifying the economy away from dependence on oil and gas, this industry is one that comes to mind to help generate the much needed revenue and job creation. But let's start on a different premise. Since you've had this long experience with the entertainment industry, particularly the American entertainment industry, situate for us, if you will, how huge is the entertainment industry generally in being a game changer to develop the economy and helping to create jobs?
Okay, thank you very much. And maybe I'll start by maybe just telling you a little bit of myself, how I got into the industry. And I went to Columbia College in 1981. You know, and Columbia College is a university for film industry university, and I went there in 1981. And my intention was 2 years of theories, and then I want to break into the industry. That's my main intention. I want to break into Hollywood, and the opportunity came starting from 1982. It was a film called Deal of the Century, which starred Chevy Chase, Sigourney Weaver, and the late Gregory Hines. There, I played what they will call a distinguished extra, you know, because we represent different countries, purchasing arms for our country. So, and I represented Nigeria. But the main break came in 1983 when I did the commercial for AT&T. AT&T phone that everybody has it now, but you know it was a phone company before. It's called Marbell, California. So when they wanted to break and separate, and AT&T long distance, strictly long distance, and then Marbell now becomes just domestic. So I was, me and two others, I'm from Nigeria, another person from another actor from Italy, one from South America. We were the first to do commercial for that. And then break into, you know, when I did this, that got me into be a member of a Screen Actors Guild of America, you know, because you have to do union job. And that commercial, being that it's national. So when they say national, that means all over America, everybody would see it. There's regional, which is not, but national has to be. So I got, you know, I was able to, I become automatically a member of a Screen Actors Guild. Then I come 1983, you know, then I had a part in the TV series called Knight Rider. I don't know, many people don't know the car that talks. You know that one. Yes, I played Army General from South Africa on that. And then the movie, followed by the movie Into the Night, which was directed by John Landis. You know, the one who directed Coming to America. Most Nigerians know Coming to America. So, and other small roles follow. But all along, I was writing, you know, my screenplay, you know, I was screenwriter, but wasn't perfect, you know. So I was working, I was taking classes, to perfect it. My very first screenplay, Dick Tiger, which is it's a name I picked, but the story I originated it from South Africa as a boxer down on slug during the apartheid time. So and I had to rewrite over and over and over and over just to perfect it. So I tried to do that. Then I have written about 10 screenplays. So the comedy I wanted to do, is called Switch, and that got me into the business aspect of it.
Right.
And that really got me into knowing Hollywood. Like you rightly said, it's the driver of economy. California has been the fifth economy in the world. That is before the arrival of Silicon Valley, the dot-com era in the 90s. So what has kept California is the film industry, because it's the main export from California. That's what kept it as the number 50 economy in the world. And now, California, before the arrival of Silicon Valley, and now California has taken over from Japan as the fourth economy in the world. Now, I see things, because since I started my career from the movie headquarters of the world, so I have to see things in the bigger picture than we have in Nigeria. Because by the time Nollywood took off, which was 1992, because we'll call it the golden era of Nollywood, it's between 1992 and 2000. I was following it, India, I was still in Hollywood. So, and as the main drive of the economy, which was what was intended, and it was good, it was good it came in, because I think the first movie that was shot on VHS. It was Nollywood movie, remember? VHS, and it was good, but that guy, I think he shot the movie for $12,000, the director of the film. And they sold over, despite all the pirating, they sold it for more than 1 million copies, despite the pirating that time. Yes. So, and then others followed. So initially, the government, personally, it's now that I see the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, very involved, trying to make this as the main driver of economy, because, one, we've been dependent on oil for a long time, and people do not know. According to my studies, Nigeria's crude oil is not much anymore. Venezuela has 330 billion barrels, followed by Saudi Arabia, 267. Then Qatar, in Abu Dhabi, they have over 100. Nigeria only has 37 billion left, because we are taking. So the president, smart businessman enough to say, we have to diversify the economy. That means Nollywood has to be, but most people do not know, because businessmen are not taken in serious, and they are not much as to how do we promote this industry.
So what in essence you're saying is, yes, the industry is there, there's huge potential, but there is a business aspect. And people just look at the entertainment value, okay, you watch a film, or you go to a movie, or you watch a play, a dance, or something like that, and you're entertained, and that's all. But they forget that there is business aspect, which is what this is all about.
This exactly. The business aspect of it is what has not been taken care of. Because all along, these filmmakers, most of people will say initially they were in for the quick bucks. They make money. The industry was never nurtured. Never nurtured. If you take a look, the golden era of Nollywood from 1992 to 2000, who started like Genevieve Nanji, this guy Noah, guy who's in US now, they are no more in the business. You know why? Because they didn't see it going anywhere. You know why? Because Nollywood was never promoted early as business, whereby government would have gotten involved. Since I came to Nigeria, I think the only time that the government got involved during the administration of Jonathan, because he has some incentives, some money he want to pump into the industry. That was mismanaged, because I followed it. I just arrived that time. I followed it all the way to Nexim. It was not proper, because everybody thought, oh, this is grab, because when I went there, I said, these guys,
It was free money.
free money.
Right. Okay.
You know, the guy, when my package, I said, okay, I'm Nigerian, I'm from Hollywood, look at my package. The guy went through it, he said, this is professional, what do you want? But he said, sir, let me tell you something. Don't even go near it. If you should know the infighting this morning, this one says, I went to the villa to ask for this money, I went to the villa to ask for this money, I have a movie of 150 million, I want my money. It didn't go anywhere. Just a small minute, you know, he got something. Who did it benefit? It didn't benefit. The money, what was it? Was it a loan? Was it a grant? You know, American government was never involved in Hollywood. People do not know. American government was never involved in Hollywood. As a matter of fact, the name Hollywood was pre-existing from the 1800s. It was a name by a lady who was living there because the art area part of California, Los Angeles, was a vast farmland. You know, so the couple moved here from Kansas. From Kansas City. They wanted to set up a civilized society because with no wines in a sane society. And that name, the lady gave the name to where she lives, Hollywood. So they went and said, we like this name. We would like to register it because we want to create a community here. That's how the name existed. So entertainment came into it in, I think, 1902 or something like that. Hollywood, when they were running from the east to, to the west coast because of the California sunlight and all that here. That's how entertainment got there. But they promoted it. They see, before they started flooding, from the silent eras, before the sound came to, to films from the time of Charlie Chaplin, and others, D.W. Griffith, the film they made that time. So it was nurtured, and all of a sudden there's an explosion. Now that of Nigeria, what would have happened is that all the people involved in it, they are not so much interested in how big can we get this. People do not know that if Nollywood had been nurtured since 1992, it would have been competing with the oil by now. It would have been competing with oil. So, and I like what the president did. He created creative economy. And I think he pumped some money, in there, to jumpstart the economy. And as far as I've seen, this should have been the start of the business aspect, which you've talked about, of the business. Not giving, I still don't buy it giving money to few, because it's only you are not creating a job. You are basically empowering just few people. And if you want to go with the process of filmmaking, these people can only make one film. I have my own theory of how I think this could have been spent to benefit the industry, to open the market, to generate domestic investors before you bring in international investors, which is you have to have a system. As it is, there is no structure. Everybody just has their own mom and pop. We call it mom and pop production company. My own company. I write my script. I call this one. Can you appear in my in my film? That is not helping the industry, and that's still the way I see it right now. Individual success, but not general success, to benefit the industry, to grow the industry. And this industry, we don't even know it. This was, if we harness everything, the business behind the camera is more than the one in front of the camera, how it can affect the industry.
And that's exactly what I want to talk about, the business behind the camera.
Yes.
I mean, what most people see, what we see is an end product, and you see what appears on the silver screen.
Yes.
That is it. It goes the same way for television.
Yes.
People are out there on the screen, and that's what they see. No, only few realize the amount of work that goes on in the background. So it's that aspect behind the camera that I want to capture. What are the kinds of jobs, opportunities that are behind that would drive what we come to see on screen?
If you have visited Los Angeles and and you gone to Hollywood, you see different types that the business affect that people do not see on the screen. On a bigger production, you see hundreds hundreds of employment. Then okay, let me see. If we have a robust industry, one, we have other industry that will affect. We have innocent models that assemble vehicles. If the industry is working very well, it will affect the innocent models because they will start assembling motorhomes. The ones you drive to the set, we call it honey wagon, they attach together. You have a makeup room, a dressing room for actors and all that, a special room for the star of the film. Then they will build catering vehicle, call it kitchen on wheels, that would drive to the set. So there is this side, especially you have the artisan. It will when it comes to set building, you will employ, all these other aspects of the economy. Then when let's say a movie is shooting, that area where it's shooting, it affects the economy right away. Let's say a movie is shooting in Metama, and then there's a change of location to somewhere like Kubwa. So we call it company move. Everything they will buy, you will see the immediate effect in the market there. You see the excitement, because everything they have to buy it local there. All the food, those who are catering for all the products they have to buy. So you buy it right there. So it affects so many other areas as the production progresses, especially when you are shooting a big budget film, that will last for 2-3 months. So many people will be employed. Then when it goes to the post-production phase, people that are still going to be involved, the musicians that if you are scoring the film, if you're constructing orchestra, then if the musicians that I don't know now, some of these are musicians if they score films. I don't know. Wow. Where you have to bring them in.
Well, some on a small scale. Some on a small scale who have.
Yes.
But generally.
Well, because you cannot do it because we don't have. Well, that's when I go back to the structuring. When you have structure, so many things will have to come to place. Right. Structure, what it means is that you have to have the studio system, sound stages. We need sound stages. With that stages, there will be so many productions. And another thing that we don't know is that people don't think television is part of the entertainment industry. Some people simply think television is for disseminating news, for people to hear news. Some of these American shows you see on TV produced by CBN, ABC, and NBC. These are network stations because they are independent, and there's a massive job there. And then secondly, there will be actors that works internally generated, like let's say NTA. You have your sound stages and all these things. You'll be producing your own films. You'll be operating dailies, and it creates massive employment. Right. Okay. So, in this case, when I hear job creation, I just wonder, I always ask myself, the way it is set right now, where's the job creation coming from? The money the president approved $200 million to uplift the industry, which is very good, he did it this way. He created the economy, the creative economy, and he put this money. Come to that, how I think it should have been spent. I don't know if they have a MD.
Okay. Well, perhaps the aspect of the entertainment industry, which has been more successful, if you like, than all other parts of it, would be the music industry. Because if you follow the trend, Nigerian music hit the world stage, and everywhere you go, you'll find Nigerian music making waves. Nigerian musicians are out there excelling, and that seems to be the only aspect that has succeeded more than the other.
The film industry.
That's more than the film.
Well, let me call that. I want to congratulate Nigerians because Fela is finally getting a Lifetime Achievement Award on the coming Grammy. I just read it today.
All right.
Much deserved. Now, when it comes to music industry, they are doing better than Nollywood. Yet they still don't have, because they are on mostly in one studio, to recording and all that. They too don't have the infrastructure that is needed. But because their own is a little bit, you don't need so much in there, just like in industry. So we can't cover, we cannot basically act like them because ours is salary and employs a lot of people. So it still comes down to, do we have the right infrastructure? Okay, that's where these jobs comes from.
Right.
You
have infrastructure.
Yes.
But who would provide this infrastructure? Certainly would be the private sector. So the question is, why is the private sector shy of putting the needed funds into this industry that, from all, indications, would be very beneficial?
Because they were not made to. I don't mean like forced to. Like I said, the early pioneers of Nollywood did not promote the industry very well. As everybody, I think everybody is so bogged down with my production. Nobody thinks of how to expand. See, investors, you have to make them see the potential of the industry. You have to make them see to want to invest. And then, when you get the right people there to know that, this is, because let's say, if everybody wants to be a business and they want to go into oil, because they see the money there. Because why? There's infrastructure there. If we don't lay down the infrastructure, the investors will not come. It's just basically what it comes down to. If you don't lay down, if an individual studio, you go to an investor and say, I have this film, it's going to cost me, 100 million. Look, I'm not into that industry. Why? I'm not into the industry. But if you have a major studio, it's not owned by one person. It's a conglomerate. What they are investing, a major studio that will eventually go IPO. What they are investing is in the studio, not individual. Because this studio eventually it will have shareholders. So people are more, because when you talk about studio like Universal Studio, Warner Brother, Paramount, all this one they have record division. So it's not, they produce more cinema, they feature films, they produce television, and gaming and other aspects, of it, cartoons and all that. So there are so many aspects of it that it's almost you can't lose because it's an infrastructure which helps the industry. Nigeria is reluctant to come because we have not made them. So, and I was so happy when I know the president, Tinubu, really focused on this. Okay. And he said, I'm pumping this money in there. To me, that should have been the start of creating infrastructure. All right. Industry.
Okay. Yeah. At this point, we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll speak more about Nigeria's entertainment industry and boosting the creative economy. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. It's still about the creative economy and Nigeria's entertainment industry. And my guest, Yakub Saliu, is still very much here. And we're examining just how the infrastructure, he says, which is the missing part of all of this, can be established so that the benefits of the creative economy can be derived from the entertainment industry. Nigeria is known everywhere. Nollywood is about the third largest growing film industry in the world. Yeah. But however, there are still challenges and people worry about the real economy behind it all. Yes, popular, but again, not raking in what it should do, like others that we've mentioned. But yes. Again, you say this is something that can be done.
It can be done. Later I will go to the education part of it.
Right, the education part.
So where I will start from, I'm starting like, okay, this is a new dawn. We have a president who is very focused and who projected that he wants to, in Nollywood to be a $1 billion economy by 2030 or 30 or 31, he wants to be one. So what he did, is that he was pumping money into because the economic part of it, that's what he intended, because he knows the potential, and that's why I'm starting a podcast. How I think this can be done to achieve the president's aim. Right. Now, let me see. Okay, let's forget about what passed before, because we know they didn't have it.
Right.
Okay, now there's a new dawn. We have a creative economy that the Minister of Art and Culture, which I don't know if they have a GM, which is almost
the ministry
like,
is headed by a minister, and it has all other departments. But
the thing is that the way I've seen it so far, it has taken a back seat to culture and tourism. I see people coming for culture and tourism, not much to the creative economy. Now, so look at when the president wise enough to create a Minister of Livestock. Did you see the activity in livestock now? Yet we have Minister of Agriculture before.
Okay.
But you see the difference that has made. The investors are coming for the for livestock. So I say the same thing, that I'm hoping that in future the president will just go ahead and create Ministry of Art and Creative Economy, a ministry.
Yeah, but it is there already. It's arts,
but it's
culture,
under
tourism, and the creative economy.
It's behind these two. We see the president going and bringing investors in because of the stability of the economy. So, when they come, they talk about. I followed it very well. They call it. We have the ministry for that. Just like I give example, we have Ministry of Agriculture.
Let's look at the education aspect of it, which you talked about. Now, in the past, particularly with regards to the film industry, it started on a small level. In fact, it evolved from the production work of television, mostly the Nigerian Television Authority, and then went on.
Yes.
But at the initial stage, you didn't have the true professionals.
Yes.
Today, it's different. Yeah. There are professionals in the field who are actors and who, have taken up a profession in other aspects of film production work, cinematographers and the like, and the rest of them.
Yes. Okay. Now, let me get on the overall economy of entertainment industry in Africa. Right. Entertainment industry in Africa is projected to be over 20 billion.
Okay.
Economy in Africa.
How much of that can Nigeria grab?
Nigeria being the leading force. Now, this Hollywood actor, Idris Elba, we know his activity. Yes. He said in 4 years he's moving to Africa. What he wants to do is to establish sound stages in different countries in Africa. He's starting from Tanzania and Ghana. His mom is Ghanaian. He's starting from Tanzania. What did the Tanzanian government did? They partner with him. Give him hectares of land to build. What did they start doing right away? They have sent some students to South Korea to study filmmaking. Why? Because we don't have such institution in Nigeria. What we have, crash courses, 3 months academy, 3 months, I don't know if any, like 6 months, 6 months. They have not really gotten into the history of cinema. In your profession, if you don't know the history of the profession, you will not respect it that much. We don't have, So years ago, and I wrote a proposal for creation of establishment of cinematic and creative art university. So, but with this, and what I did when I wrote this proposal, I wrote it with film studio. It's a subsidiary in there with soundstage that will be a functioning film studio. What I'm thinking, my thinking is that eventually it will be a starting an establishment in the country, in the industry.
Right.
So,
have you had time to interact with the Nigerian Film Corporation?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I was spending time to perfect it.
Right.
Yes. So, because my intention is that I would hope that Nigerian government will do what Tanzania government did by partnering. with Elbert in
Not
creating this.
necessarily him, but anyone who's
Yes.
within the industry.
Yes,
who was
exactly.
clout, right.
So I'm hoping the same thing, that the federal government, because it's a PPP, will partner the establishment of this university. There's none of it like in Africa. So the UB is first in Africa, which will also add value. As the leading economy, in Africa, or in creative economy in Africa, Nigeria should be in the forefront. Other countries should be looking. We are still Nollywood. So the world know Hollywood, Bollywood, Nollywood. But we have not reached the potential because we are not even making half the film the Indians making. Bollywood is making a movie with a budget of $100 million now. They are making. The highest budget that Nollywood was, has made so far was the one financed by Netflix. Netflix, which is $1 million. I forgot the name of that. It was $1 million. So, what I will do is this: when you come to how do we get investors, because all this one, it comes down to money. Who want to invest to make this industry great? I would say people should look at Netflix. How did Netflix start? The two actors who own Reed Hastings and his Mark Randolph, his partner. These people, they don't have anything to do with Nollywood before. They don't even know. They don't even know anything. They are not even in the film industry. They were just friends who worked at a software company. That software company, sold. Somebody bought it for $800 million. So they got their severance, and they are looking to what to do. Now, how did Netflix start it? Before Blockbuster Video occupied Hollywood, more than 9,000 stores all over America, and over 80,000 employees. Now, what Blockbuster Video does is that if you rent 24, you don't return it, they charge you. So Mr. Hastings didn't return his DVD on time, so they charged him $40 as late fee, and he was not happy about it. And he said, I have to do something like this. So he went and came up with the idea of CD rental by mail, which I used to receive there.
We had similar things in this country as well. What those are in the past now.
Exactly. Because, and see how it has evolved to streaming. Right. So, and then that's where they started. So you get CD, any amount you want, you send it, they will send it to you. You can keep it as long as you want until you are ready to return it. So that's not somebody that doesn't have a history of the industry. But just because, he wants to do something to change. And America, before you know it, by year 2000, they just exploded everywhere. This thing started in 1997, then by year 2000, exploded everywhere. And now, to cut the story short, because it's a long history, they went broke one time. They want Blockbuster Video to buy them. Blockbuster this video said, no, we are okay. We don't need any of this thing. So what did they do? They went and put their head together. So why don't we make streaming? Now, just like streamers we know now, you sit down at home, instead of rental, you click, you pay, and you watch. And boom, Big Dawn in Hollywood, they just came and changed the entire game. Netflix owns Hollywood right now. They just bought Warner Brothers Discovery for $79 billion. This is the company this guy started. Reed Hastings started with $2.5 million. All right. So we are saying that a businessman, you don't have to be in the business to see the potential in the entertainment industry. If we sell it to investors, because government cannot do everything. The president is not going to be bringing out $200 million every time to help the industry. This money is enough to get things off the ground, create the infrastructure, set up institutions, that will get this thing going, get banks involved. CBN, Bank of Industry, and two banks that has enough financial liquidity. Get them involved in this, and then establish a way whereby you have to own it. You have to have your package right. Who's starting it? What distribution outlet do you have? Do you have a deal with Hulu or Apple TV or Netflix? With that, you can go to one of these banks because the government will sponsor this bank through the bank, and then you can tender this. So this, they will give you distribution that we like this film, we might, we want to distribute it. You take it to the bank with this money that the president gives, instead of just having it for somebody. When all your package is together, then they will consider giving you, because using this distribution deal that you have as a collateral, because you don't have collateral. So this way you give opportunity, and then again, we start creating the infrastructure. Part of the money should be going into creating infrastructure. That's just it. Building sound stages, putting all the actors, all the the players together, people from other businesses, other businesses that you have to get them involved and get the banks involved in establishing.
An interesting thing you've just said now, for speaking to the private sector want to invest, is that you just said they don't need to be players
in the industry.
They just need to have the entrepreneurial know-how, the
exactly,
strength,
the acumen,
business
yes,
acumen, to have someone who can say, look, this product, I can now take this product and sell it, because I may not necessarily be the one who has made it, but I can now see how this product can be sold better on the market.
Exactly.
Which is what the private sector
does. Because most people who came to Hollywood, they are not typically film people. They are not film people. When United Artists want to sell, it was an Trans-American insurance company who bought it. A studio that was formed in 1919, when actors want to rebel against studios, because studios were monopolizing them, whereby if you're under contract with one studio, you cannot do another film with another studio. So, four actors: Mary Pickford, D.W. Griffin, Charlie Chaplin, and who's the other guy? The four of them. They decided to form United, Artists. Now, the reason why I bring this up is that actors, they can start a studio. Now, this lady, what's her name? I always forgot her. Akinlere, very successful, who was the star of Jennifer. She just had a movie that grossed over 2 billion naira. Now, and I'm looking like, now, that's one, because they know the business aspect of it was what she took care of, to have this potential. She can use this to bring other people.
All right. So, and there are many more like her who can attract the confidence of the private sector as to put their money in it.
Yes.
But again, this has to be sold to the private sector. Yes. And I've always heard people say many big business concerns in Nigeria are not too comfortable going into things like that. They just want something that will bring in the profits quickly, and something palpable they can see.
But they don't know. Even that in principle they can see, they see a risk involved. And then a business you go to is risk taking. Yes, entertainment. Let's not kid it. It has its own risk. Will the movie flop? But if you do a proper job, like the lady, Miss Kennedy, if now people have confidence in her because of her success, she can be a force in this. In trying to bring infrastructure, into this, bringing in private sector, because government is not going to create, the infrastructure for you. It's the people in the industry that has to, the know-how, the business part of it. The president Tinubu has done what he needs to do. He pumps money. He created an agency, which is a creative economy, and he said what he wants to see, in the next 4 or 5 years. More than $1 billion, So it's left for the people in the industry to take from this. Let's take advantage of this and start, because we are talking for the future generation that are coming. I mean, those who made Hollywood what they were. I was not born that time. I was not. I don't even know if my family had met that time. So, but look, 1981, I went there. I had the benefit. I had a dream of getting to the industry. I got the industry. I made my presence felt, not as much as I had wanted, but the experience I got from there was how it works. I became a member of, Screen Actors Guild of America. I perfected, writing screenplay. I perfected putting a business as a producer, because producer is you put all the ingredients together. So how many years I went there, I wasn't part of this. So what we set right now is for future generation. The way it is right now, if we don't structure the industry, it's going to remain like this. No matter how much money you put in there, because few individuals, filmmakers will just benefit, others will be left in dust. And those who are getting it now, what are they paying back? Is it a loan? Is it a grant? Because that's the question I always ask. If it's a grant, are you giving grant to few and others are not getting? That is not going to help. From my own perspective, it's not going to help the industry. If you don't, set the infrastructure right. So those who are doing very well right now, it's left to them because people want to put money. They see your passion for this and you have some money to put, that will draw business. You have to allow them to see your vision, where you think this industry is going, and that it's next to oil. And eventually, it will surpass oil if we harness it very well. If we harness it very well, it will surpass oil. So you have to make them see it, to want to be part of it.
Well, of course, all this is not without its own challenges. And,
Yes.
there are, of course, a lot of issues which need to be dealt with. Not the least among them, the question of piracy and the matter of property rights. And we find that a lot of people with a creative sense in this country have not had a fair deal because of things like piracy and the loss of their intellectual property rights.
I think piracy has been reduced compared to when I just came, by the advent of, streaming. Because when I just came, that's when they were selling a DVD by the street side. And I'm like,
anybody then, including those of the music, people just copy
copy it, and the artists are not getting compensated. That was killing the industry.
Reproduce this massively and distribute all over the place.
Yes, I think it has been reduced, very much because of the streaming. Now, what it needs to happen is this: you're talking about the copyrights and other things. See, that will bring me to one question. Why do we have, since I've been in Nigeria, why is the National Library still a skeleton building?
Well,
why I bring that is this. All of my script in US is registered at the Library of Congress in Washington. If I'm saying right now, I'll show you where.
Well, that, of course.
Whereby intellectual property is there, you cannot copyright, then you will have violated the RICO Act. This is something that should have been in the National Library. It's something that should have been in. And I'm very happy, I'm very grateful the First Lady is really driving at this because she's crazy about education and watching. Hopefully in future, if it ever comes in, that's when you have your copyright, because it has to be, you have to be retained by the, just like US, the Library of Congress in Washington. That's where, whereby you cannot copy, then you have violated,
Well, with the firming up of the activities of the Copyright Council in Nigeria, that has also helped to create awareness about the issue of copyright violations, and has also helped to reduce, to some extent, such violations.
Yeah.
But again, you say there's room for much more to be done.
There's much more to be done. I actually, when I became aware that there's a copyright commission, whereby you can copyright anything. But are they doing it very well? How do they follow if somebody is ripping another person's intellectual property off? And if they do catch you, what is the repercussion?
Well, the law is clear about that, and there have been cases. In fact, there are still ongoing cases. Some property rights owners have actually gone to court, and so many of these cases are there. You find this as a regular thing in the industry.
Yes.
And that has also raised awareness of the issues concerned.
Yes.
And has given some people who otherwise would not have bothered, the confidence to step forward and demand their rights.
Yes. That's why the question of the library, comes in, because National Library would have been like the carbon copy of Library of Congress in Washington here, whereby you develop. This one goes to artisans too. when they come up with a new creation, you go there and write it and copyright it. Then you keep your eyes open. Somebody, violate it. But until it's perfected, you are always going to have that issue.
All right. As we draw close to the end of this talk, let me bring this up to you. And this has to do with attitudes that are changing. In the past, a lot of parents would regard going into the entertainment industry with a lot of skepticism. There are those who, easily what used to happen in the past, they say everybody wants their kids to be doctors and lawyers and things like that. And any attempt to go into, in fact, there was a time when you couldn't tell your folks that
you are in the industry.
You wanted to go and play music or something like that, and they would say
because they see it as an adult child play. You are going to that when you can be a doctor.
Because I say this because what comes to mind is sports, for instance,
yes.
Football.
Yes.
There were times when parents actually dealt with their children
yes,
who showed any interest. And today, you find parents are saying,
you can be the next Osimhen. You should be the next Okocha.
So you see that happening with the film, the entertainment, particularly film and acting. That's happening.
The players right now has to do much, to change that attitude. Because, like you say, parents still have skepticism with their children going to that industry because some of it don't see it as a corrupt industry. That is because of the image being projected that you are seeing. Because when you look at, there's some in Lagos, you see the show off, everybody wants to show off. The small success they've attained, the car they are driving, the mansion they are building in their village, where they live in Lagos. But if you are projecting the industry in the right positive way, eventually parents will know that this industry is basically the future of Nigeria. And we can write this for as many years, 50 or 100 years from now. Let me tell you something. Goldman Sachs said in 2075, I don't know if I will still be alive, I'll say that. He said Nigeria will be the 5th largest economy in the world by 2075. You'll be on the same par with America, with Japan and other countries. Will have surpassed with India, Indonesia will have surpassed Germany. At that time, that is the budget at that time. By their projection, we should have been at $14.1 trillion economy by that time. All that is now going to come from the oil. And the work starts from now. We have a lot of work to do. One, to put the infrastructure in place.
All right.
The players there to project image so that when fathers, mothers, families see their own children going into the industry, they will not be objective to it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right, Yakub Saliu, it's been interesting talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Like this conversation, and I hope we hold more of it in the future.
Yes, definitely. I'm very happy to be here. Definitely,
right.
Anytime, and I really want to appreciate you giving me this time.
Right.
I've been a fan. I didn't even know that you were retired. When I saw you, I'm like, this guy is still young. Why is he retiring? I mean, he still has the look there. Why are you retiring?
Right.
The acumen, the talent, and
right.
the pedigree.
Right.
So, and then of course, I watch NTA every 9 o'clock, so right. I almost know everybody there. So, and it's a great opportunity.
Right.
To be with you, and like I say.
Right.
Even more, we'll do very much more, of it together.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you.
And that's our program today. We thank you for watching. Next week, we'll be back with One on One. I'm Cyril Stover. Bye for now.